Season 3 begins here. Ballon and Mallard are officially a Premiership team. That means we're probably going to need to be strengthening ourselves up. So today's episode is going to be just teeing us up for the new season. We're going to have a look at the review from last year, the 23-24 season where we got promoted as champions. And then we're going to be having a deep dive into our squad planner to find out who, if anybody, needs to leave the club and what areas we're almost certainly going to need to strengthen. What's happening, guys? Hello and welcome to Season 3, Episode 0 of Unknown to Icon. Today is going to be our setup episode for the season. We're going to, obviously it's going to be a bit of a shorter episode than normal, but we're going to go through our season review for the 23-24 season. We're going to have a little look through the squad planner, obviously see what players are leaving us, and then work out what kind of players we want to bring in to replace them for our first season in the Premiership. I don't know whether we're going to struggle or not. I'm very interested to see what our budgets are. I'm very interested to see what the media predict we're going to do in the league this year. But we're going to have to wait for that, aren't we? So without further ado, let's get stuck in to the season review. Oh, I didn't realise that was going to rhyme. Either way. New arrivals. Here we go. This was the signings of the season. James Tielan, the number one signing. Of course, he was our top signing. Well, in my opinion, he was our top signing. Apparently, the board think it's a C rating, even though I'm pretty confident we brought him in for free. And he had an excellent season with the highest overall average rating, 13 assists and 10 goals in 35 appearances. That's better than a C, in my opinion. What a signing he's been. Jack McIntyre we brought in on loan. He's done not much, to be honest. He did have a very good game, though. So in his one game that he played for us, he got a 7.2. And the board have given that a B+. What did James Tielan have to do to get more than a C rating is what I want to know. Darius Rue, he was also a baller for us this season. 38 games, 10 goals, 7 assists from the cam position. And also apparently a C+. This is mainly due to getting the player to agree to a lower wage than we would have expected. Never mind the fact that he was free. Michael McClellan, right winger, 7.08 for the season. 10 assists, 2 goals in 26 appearances, 8 from the bench. Not too bad at all. Pretty good signing he was as well. A nice experienced head to bring on from time to time. Callum Byers we brought in. He came in from HW Welders. 31 appearances, 7.07. Only the 1 goal, but as a centre-back / right-back, wasn't expecting too much from him anyway. James Convey came in on loan from Dungannon Swifts, the team that we beat, and I believe they got relegated. So he'll be in the Championship next season, and we'll be in the Premier Division. And we've got him on loan. Mental situation. We're going to have to buy him, I think, depending on what he costs. But if he's gone down, hopefully he's got some kind of clause that if his team goes out of the Premiership, he can just leave, and then we can snap him up as a Premiership team on a free, maybe. We'll find out. 23 appearances, 17 goals, and a 7.07 average rating. Now, the top goal scorer of us, Ben Cushney, came in on loan from Glentoran. 31 games played, 12 from the bench, 28 goals scored, and 3 assists on a 7.02. How he hasn't got a higher average rating, and how he isn't above Convey, even though I think Convey is probably going to be the better player, and it's probably the guy I'm going to look to keep on permanently out of the two, if any, even though there's more goals scored by Cushney, less games played by Convey, and he's younger. He's got a bit more to go in him. Mikey Place came in late, obviously only made 12 appearances for the club, 3 off of the bench, 6 goals, 3 assists, 7.0. The thing about Mikey Place is he's on a permanent with us. I picked him to play right wing, but he just seems to be so consistent. Well, not consistent, but he just turns up when it matters. When you really need a goal, when you really need a bit of magic, Mikey Place is your man. Neil Shields, our star goalkeeper, 43 appearances, no goals, 3 assists from goal. Pretty good for the 27-year-old and a 6.97 average rating. Max Greer obviously came in on loan, went back away, and then came back in on loan again. 3 appearances, 12 off of the bench. He was our bench right back. 5 assists from Max Greer. Pretty good on a 6.95. John Scott came in from Dungannon. I think he was already at the club, interestingly enough. Not sure why he's in our transfers for this season, but maybe he came in at the very start of the year, so he wasn't a signing from me. Curtis Davis, he was just a body to be there. He came in occasionally, had a 6.9, 2 goals, 1 assist in 3 appearances. 3 starting appearances and 7 from the bench. So Liam Mullen came in as a loan from Derry City. 5 starting appearances, 8 from the bench, 1 assist from him, and a 6.89. Not too bad for a young midfielder. He had a decent season. Then from South Shields, we signed Josh Doherty. He came in, 18 appearances, started all of them, none from the bench. 1 goal, 4 assists as a left back. Pretty good. And he's got a tasty little free kick on him. Mohamed Boudieff, 15 appearances starting and 2 from the bench. We brought him in on a free as well from Newry City. 6.82. Again, another good right back. Unfortunately, then we get to Shallow Jallow. So I brought him in and the board weren't happy with me based on the fact that he had a very poor goal scoring record. He then appeared for us 9 times and scored 0 goals and got 0 assists and had a 6.46. He is a massive flop. And we will definitely be moving him on this season. Hopefully we'll sell him. If not, his contract will expire. And Conor Byer is yet to make an appearance for the club. We brought him in on a permanent from Dungannon Swifts. 21-year-old young goalkeeper. He is on a non-contract for us, so yet to make an appearance, but he's got a good name, although he doesn't know how to spell it, and I'm confident. I think he's going to have something to bring to the team a bit later on. The season's results, here we go. So we did finish champions. Final position first. Average home attendance of 426. 21%. Is that 21% of the ground filled? It's not ideal. B-, the board are pleased that the team won the NIFL Championship this season. The top goal scorer, obviously was Ben Cushney. Newry City and Ballyclare will play in the playoff final to see who goes up with us. But that's the story for the league, and Newington go down. Sadler, Peaky Blinder Irish Cup, we were knocked out in the semi-final by Coleraine. Unfortunately, same story for the Bet McLean League Cup. We were knocked out in the second round by Coleraine, which is ideal. And then in the Senior Cup, we were knocked out in the semi-final as well. We didn't really have many young players. This was the difficulty in playing in this one. We got knocked out because we didn't really have anybody to play in the match. Moments to remember. Our biggest win was a 4-0 win against Ards. It was lovely to see. A hat-trick from Ruhi. I had to remember that one, actually. And then a lovely situation. Obviously, we got a penalty. Richard Clark scored that one. Match to remember, the 3-1 win against Dergview. Was this the 3-1 win when we won the league? Yeah, it must have been. So this was the game that we won the league from. Of course, that's a moment or match to remember. And goal of the season comes from Richard Clark. Really? Let's have a little look at that. Oh, the free kick. Yeah, it was a good one. Off the bottom of the crossbar and in. Yeah, I do remember that. Good goal. I'm trying to think if there was a better one. Ronan McKinley's going to be furious that he's not won best goal there, to be honest, because he's had a couple of crackers this season. Finances, this isn't going to be an enjoyable thing to look at, to be honest with you. Our reputation stayed the same. I don't think it's rolled over yet. We made £12.13 thousand in sponsorship, 2.2k. I believe we spent on broadcast revenue. That doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe we brought it in, but down on last season, I see. 1.52k on corporate and hospitality. Competition prize money, we won 14.1k, which is up from 11.47k last season. And match day commercial and retail revenue, I assume that's the £75 we get paid stuff when you win a game. 54.59k, which is better than last season, which was 37.26. Made 1.46k in merchandise sales, and we sold 100 shirts, with McKinley getting the most shirts sold, closely followed by Mikey Place, James Teelan, Doherty, and McGinty. McGinty's still selling shirts, even though we're going to let him go and he's an old man. Or getting there anyway. I think he might be the same age as me in real life. I'm not old, but he is. How we lined up, here we go. So this is our team. We're going to see if they got it right. Shields, Doherty, Rogers, Byers, Greer. Not quite. I would say that our team was Shields towards the end anyway. Shields, Doherty, Rogers, Scott, and then Byers, or to be honest, it was probably Boudieff. Probably Budiaf in there. McKinley and Grace definitely were our midfield pair. Thielen, yeah. Ruhi, yes. McClellan, yes, up until Mikey Place came. It was a bit later on, and then Cushney did start more games up top. There we go. Some decent performances all round. Best performer across the course of the year was obviously James Thielen, closely followed by Ruhi. Both signed by me. Just saying. Accolades. Here we go. So I won Manager of the Month for August, Manager of the Month for September, and Manager of the Month for April. Have they done Manager of the Year? Surely I won Manager of the Year. Either way. Fans Player of the Season was James Thielen. Excellent signing. Can't argue with that. Young Player of the Season, also James Thielen. And Sign of the Season, James Thielen. Starboy from the beginning. Richard Clark gets obviously Goal of the Season. Top goal scorer, Ben Cushney, 28 goals in the league. Most assists was James Thielen with 13. Most Man of the Match awards was James Thielen with 6. Highest average rating was James Thielen with 7.3. And the most passes completed per 90 minutes was actually Callum Byers with 38 passes per 90. Very, very good. Competition awards, nothing there to be seen. And as you can see, record breakers. Most overall goals by a player in a season, Ben Cushney, 28 goals. Good to see. Most league goals by a player in a season, 23. Ben Cushney, good stuff. Most goals by a player in a match, 3. Ben Cushney, surely at some point in time, somebody scored a hat-trick for this club. Most goals by a player in a league match, 3 for Ruhi. Hat-tricks don't happen at Ballon Mallard, apparently. Just not a thing. Most assists in a season, James Thielen on 13, obviously. Most player in a match, 6. Youngest player is Gary Law, 16 years and 106 days. Oldest player is Richard Clark, 38 years and 144 days. Youngest goal scorer is Liam Corey. I'm assuming this is for the reserves or the under-18s. At 17 years old and 171 days. And then the oldest goal scorer, obviously, is Richard Clark. Good to see. Why doesn't it say here that we broke the record for the most points ever accumulated in the LAV 41 Championship? There we go. History in the making. Won the league, went up as champions. Good to see that on the record. That's always going to be good, isn't it, for the CV as well? I won a league title. Last year I won a cup. Not had a season yet where I haven't won silverware. Let's go. It was a superb season for Mallards as they claimed the title to back up their pre-season credentials. Excellent stuff. Dynamic manager timeline. There we go. There's all of our Banbridge stuff. A couple of future stars apparently. Won the Intermediate Cup. There's the first trophy of the career. Joined Ballon Mallard. Future star in James Thielen. 100%. He's a star now. Budiaf, also a future star. Excellent. Won 5 matches in a row. That was a new record for the club. Another future star in Connor Burnsey. Told you I had faith in his potential. NIFL Championship record breakers. Here we go. Ballon Mallard finished with 64 points in the season to set a new NIFL Championship record. The previous was 61, I think. There you go. 61 points. Set a new club record as well. Huge upset. Of course, something of a surprise upset in the Irish Cup, beating Dungannon. I don't think that was a surprise upset. Based on where Dungannon are in the league and their performances, you know, they're getting relegated. We're getting promoted quite comfortably. I don't see that as an upset. That's a game we should have been winning, and we did, so it doesn't really matter. Then officially we won the league, and then apparently after winning the league and all of the games had finished, Cushney became prolific. Obviously broke the club record for 28 goals scored in the season. 2 trophies in my career. And 0 major awards. Still not been given a Manager of the Year award. How is that a thing? We just won the league. Come on. And there you go. That's that. Oh, apparently, for some strange reason, our best 11 is still shown as a 5 at the back, which we don't play. Arkinson, that was a prior to me. Byers, Rogers, McGee, Shields has made it into their all-time 11, which is great to see. McKinley in there, Clark in there, Ruhi's made it in. McClellan, both signings by myself, and Cushney as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4 new entries. Maybe I signed Byers, but I think he was already at the club. But there you go. Lovely to have 4 players breaking it into a team of 11 on the best 11. Let's have a little look at the squad planner, shall we? Oh, just before we do, have a look at that. We gained 1.4 thousand followers. We only have 5.7 thousand followers after that increase. Now they want us to play defensively solid football. counter-attacking football and direct football. That's not going to happen. They've obviously not been watching the previous episodes. We don't play defensive football. We played a little bit with Banbridge, but we played attacking football all year last year. We're not going to start changing that now. That is my philosophy. All right, here we go then. A quick look through the squad planner just to obviously just sort of get an idea as to what kind of players we're going to be looking to bring in what positions. Goalkeeper, I think we're fine. Neil Shields, at the moment, these star ratings might change, obviously, when it ticks over and then we're actually in the Premiership. We might get some different star ratings. But Neil Shields, obviously still 3.5-star goalkeeper, 27 years of age. He's still solid for a goalkeeper. We're going to be keeping him as our first choice. And then Connor Byrne can be the backup as well on and on contract. If he plays, he plays. If he doesn't, he doesn't. And we all know I don't put goalkeepers on the bench. So it's not like we're going to be paying him an unused sub fee. So good little backup there. Obviously, he can be our cup goalkeeper. He's 2 stars as well. So he's not, he's not the worst goalkeeper ever. And he's real young. And he's, I'm hoping that potential is really going to start to come through. If he stops playing games for the under-18s and starts playing a few games for us, we should really see him start to develop, which is cool. Obviously at left back, Josh Doherty is there. John Scott is our sort of backup for left back. Really, he's the better player to play there. I won't play Aaron Rodgers at left back. It's just not something I'm going to do. And Sean McDermott is an option there as well. In at centre back, on the left-hand side, John Scott is our number 1 choice at the moment. Aaron Rodgers is number 2, Callum Byers number 3, and Sean McDermott number 4. And pretty much the same story here, but Rodgers, and then I suppose we'll put John Scott up into second. Rodgers, first choice centre back for the right-hand side. Scott second, Byers, and then McDermott. And on the right, we have got Mohamed Boudiaf with Callum Byers as the backup there as well. So potentially could be looking at, a slightly better central defender and or slightly better right back. Left back, I think we're good. If John Scott plays there, fine. We can get ourselves a centre back and he can play at left back. If Josh Doherty continues to perform relatively well, he can play there and John Scott can push across if needed. We'll take a look at the defence as we go through and see, obviously, if any of these star ratings change and then, they're not looking like they're going to be great players for the division we're in now. We'll move some people on. Ball winning midfielder. Midfield is certainly a position that we're struggling for. Now, our starters at the moment are Noel Grace, 31 years old. Obviously, he's getting on a little bit. We have got him until December 31st of this year. So we've got 6 months or so to make a decision on him, which is cool. But 2.5 stars, probably not going to cut it for the first team, although I would like to keep him around as an option to come off of the bench because he can play in both roles. Ronan McKinley is going to be our starting Mazzala. That's not going to change. He's a 4-star Mazzala, which is excellent. Noel Grace will be the second choice. Reece Byrne can play in both of these positions, but that's not really where I want to use him. To be honest, what I'm inclined to do is this. Take him out of the equation altogether. We've only got 2 people to play in central midfield. That's a problem. We'll be signing some midfielders. On the left wing, James Teelan, still going to be our starting man for the time being. He's a 3-star rated left winger, and he was excellent last season, so I'm hopeful that he'll be able to keep that up this year. Michael McLennan can play there, and so can Reece Byrne, who can obviously play across all these front 3 positions. But I wouldn't mind a winger that can play both sides, because if we have a look at the right, we've got Mikey Place, who's going to be our starting winger with McClellan as an option off the bench. The reason I'm using Mikey Place is I want to see him develop. He's 26 years old in comparison to Michael, who's 31, and only being half a star less, I think we're better off putting our eggs in the Mikey Place basket. And like I say, he always comes up trumps when we need him. Reece Byrne can obviously play again on the right-hand side. And then Glenn Williams is a youngster who's a 2-star rated youngster. He's on holiday at the moment and he's out of contract. But considering he's 17 years old and he's currently 2-star and he's got a 5-star potential, might be worth maybe slowly bringing him into things, or at least playing him in the reserves as opposed to the under-18s. In the cam position, obviously Darius Ruhi is going to remain for the time being our starting cam, although a 2.5-star isn't as good as I would have liked him to have been. He's a great player either way. His star rating is kind of irrelevant. 25 years old, still got some room to grow, and we've got him until the end of the season as well. So, if we bring somebody in there ridiculous, maybe they'll be the starter and he'll be he'll be an option off of the bench. If not, he'll probably be our starter, and we're looking for somebody to slot in between him and Reece Burn, because I don't really like Reece Burn as a cam either. I prefer him as a winger or, if needs be, up top. So we're probably going to be looking for a central attacking midfielder, somebody that can play across both wings, ideally as somebody to sit on the bench as an option. McClellan can do it at the moment, but I just feel like we're a little bit weak in the wings, just a little bit. We're definitely going to be needing midfielders, and we are almost certainly going to need a striker. Mikey Place can play there, but again, he's going to be our first choice for right wing, and Reece Burn can play up top as well. But as a 2 and a 1.5 star strikers, that ain't good enough. We are going to have James Convey will come back in, so he could probably, actually, Convey probably does sort out our wing position, doesn't he? I completely forgot about that. But if he's an option on the left wing and or up top, he'll probably play up top, and Thielen on the wing. Then we can bring in somebody who can play both sides, a backup striker, and remove Mikey Place from this conversation altogether, and hopefully get a bit of development from Reece Burn. That's the plan. There's definitely some upgrades to be made. So obviously, as you can see, we've got 1.15k to spend, obviously extra to the wage budget that we had last year. That is our new budget for the season. And we still do need to remove Mark Stafford's wages and Shane McGinty's wages from that. So there's likely to be a little bit of an increase to that. So probably about 1.2, 1.3k perhaps to spend on new player wages. And that's before we sell anybody, should we sell anybody. But to be honest, we don't have a lot of areas that we're looking to lighten. Salo Jallo will go. That's £170 per week extra as well. But unless there's an offer that comes in for somebody I'm not expecting to sell that's actually too good of an offer to turn down, that's going to be it. Oh, Richard Clark is also retiring, obviously, as well, so that's another £50 in the kitty. We're going to have some money to bring in some free transfers. And now, after looking at the squad planner, we know where we need. Bit of a shorter episode today just to tee up the season, but if you've enjoyed that and the series so far, please do smash that like button. It does make a massive difference, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more FM23 content.